On my previous episode, I interviewed Luke Thompson, the English teacher and podcaster of his show called Luke's English Podcast. Not only had he the kindness to let me interview him, but he also put a link of episode 28 on his website. And I can tell you that it was a pleasant surprise to me. I received many listens this month, and hopefully I can keep some of them as my regular listeners. And of course, I would be very glad if anyone has an idea for future episodes of my Fluent podcast. And to be honest, it has been a long time since I have been producing a new episode. And I think by far too much time has passed without having new recordings. And so I was thinking about my speaking practice. And I think it's one of my biggest hurdles when it comes to learning English. That I fall back into old habits to learn rather in a passive way, which is not what I intend to do. But, well, I feel more comfortable, of course, just watching TV, watching Netflix. But my real goal should be to get my practice. I'm quite sure that you know what I'm feeling right now. That sometimes you lose your motivation and then all of a sudden time flies by and then the motivation flies by as well, kind of. So you and me, we have to be aware of the fact that if you don't practice, if you don't use it, then we are gonna lose it. It's that simple. And in my case, for example, I don't use English at my job. I don't know anybody in Switzerland who only speaks English. I mean, I don't really know English natives. And probably that's my problem. I should get into contact with a native and then have a conversation on a regular basis. But now enough of this negativity. Now let's talk about the good things that occur to me. First and foremost, I want to talk about the chatcast. It's a project I've already mentioned on a previous episode of mine, on episode 13, called Interview with Guillaume from talktolearn.ch. And he is also the inventor of the chatcast. The chatcast is a project where once a week people from all over the world who are learning English meet on a Skype group chat. And the conversation is recorded and then published on the website. So what's so fantastic about that? I'm gonna tell you now. Well, there was a gap of about more than 1 year that the chatcast was kind of on standby. There weren't any leaded chatcast conversations. But now Wasla from Russia took over, meaning he hosted several chatcasts, and so the chatcast goes on again. That's fantastic. So actually, you could do that with your target language as well. If you're learning French, for example, you can find other people who are willing to have a conversation with you on a regular basis. And I'm sure that it will help. Definitely it will help.
Hello folks, how are you? I'm Vaslav and this is chatcast. I hope it's going okay. That things are at least tolerable. I've been thinking ever since our founder Guillaume let me host the talks here how to introduce myself. Well, at first I felt a bit awkward about it, and I wrote a pair of intros and rejected them all with scorn. Then, at some point, it struck me that the better way to announce myself was just to speak. What we all crave for is fluency and becoming eloquent. It's exactly what brings us here together every time we want to learn something new by talking and sharing our inspirations and insights. I'm always excited to meet new people. The thing that we can always teach each other something new never stops amazing me. Me personally, I got lucky to have met some phenomenal learners, people with wonderful skills and enviable grit that made me realize my own potential. I figure that we're exactly that to each other. A huge source of inspiration and friendly support we need so badly to improve and succeed eventually. My point is that everyone got to have a chance to learn and teach. And teaching allows us to learn a lot. I hope we'll all enjoy it every time we hang out. I can't tire any longer with my speech and wait all at a regular time on Sundays.
That was Vaslav from Russia, who leads the conversations on the chatcast. Another thing I want to tell you about is I went to Argentina and I could manage only speak in Spanish. I did not use German or English, no, just Spanish. And I call that a success. It was a fantastic time over there and I could learn a lot.